All right. Hello, hello, hello. Whoops. There we go. Silly little echo there. I had an open tab. Now that that's fixed. Hey everyone. It is Thursday night, and on Thursdays, I like to do puzzle games. So anyone who's popped in now, welcome. Let's see. I don't know what to say. Otherwise, we can mostly go ahead and get started here. I've got same little screen I was showing yesterday of all of the games I've recently downloaded. You can see a lot of demos from Steam Next Fest. And if you've noted the category here tonight, we're going to start with DEG, D-E-G. I remember looking at this yesterday, and I've already forgotten exactly what it was, but this is what we're going to start with. If we get through a good chunk of it, we'll go into Map after that. And if anything after that, we'll do Vorder Up, because that'll be just hilarious. But yeah, all right, so we're going to need to start with DEG here. Let me switch my screens around and hope that OBS cooperates with DEG. Yes. The game has started. OBS has not seen it. Hi. If you encounter any questions or issues while playing, please feel free to let me know through the community. Have fun, Docio. Thank you, Docio. I need to get this window properly showing on OBS. No, OBS is just not cooperating again. All right, let's not do game capture. Let's do window capture. There's DEG. There we go. Now, I'm not hearing anything from the game, so the fact that you're not hearing anything either probably shouldn't be too much of an issue. Hey, Ryu! Taking a break from studying. Hope school's been going well. Hope classes haven't been too much. There we go. All right, let's get in here. There's the music. DEG. As what I remember, this is basically like a numbers game, and again, I love my puzzles, particularly my number puzzles. So let's see what this is all about. I forget if this game is really color focused or not. Free mode, you can freely consult the rule manual for each puzzle during gameplay. Recommended for newcomers to pen and paper puzzles. Explore and listen to the rule of each puzzle on your own during gameplay. Recommended for players who enjoy figuring out the rules. You know what? We'll challenge ourselves tonight. We'll go on Explorer mode. I'll take some notes as I need to. If I get super frustrated, we'll go back over into free mode. And I'm realizing now that OBS is not actually showing what's on my screen. Let's try this. Whoa, okay. That sort of works. There we go. That's better. Oh, OBS. All right, Explorer mode. All right, so we've got a 1, a 1, and a... I've got 1 to place and a 3 to make. Okay. If I just do everything... Okay, that went blue. I don't know what that means. Okay. No? Okay, I'm definitely not understanding what's correct here. Toggle puzzles and board display. Check if current puzzle board state violates the rules. Turn page. Oh, so you actually... Okay. It tells you the rules as you progress. Okay. So what has worked here? Oh, okay, hang on, I see. It's the number of adjacent pieces that work. So for 8, we need to do this. 5 can be anything. because we've got 4, so we need to get just one of these next 2. And the problem that we have is, do we need to have everything as a group or not? I'm going to assume all of the black needs to be in a group. Correct. Okay, so I can do either one of these. I'm going to do this one. Because what I'm doing right now, I'm thinking back to one of my other puzzle games where you never want a block of a 2x2 together, and I'm wondering if this game is similar. Which would force this. And we've got a new rule here. Color cell, mark cell. Okay. We need 7, and we can't have a 2x2. So we'll do that. Oh. Yeah, and if we have to be concurrent, it has to do that. Uh-oh. Alright, so now I might end up breaking a rule that we had set. Because now I've got a 2x2 block here. And a 1... Oh, wait, no, hang on. There. So, okay, I can't hit any of these pieces, but I can come around. Oh, hang on. How do I... Oh, I need to get the far. Okay, yeah, go all the way over. Move map and zoom map. Okay. Okay. Well, 3, that should be pretty easy with where we are. So we don't want to hit the 3 anymore, so we have to come around here. Like that. Okay. We can only hit one of these 2, but we need 2 of these. So the thing is, we can't extend this way because now that's wrong, isn't it? So we need to do this. Okay, we can't go in the middle here. I mean, we could, but that wouldn't give us the 2 that we need. 7. Okay, there are a couple ways we could solve this. Okay, we can't have both of these. So that means 3 needs these 2 together. So we can do either this or this. That still says it's red. Why is that red? I don't know, but it's blue there, so we'll run with it. Clear current board color. Oh, wow, you can clear the board and redo things, apparently. Okay, so if we can't fill that one, we need to do this. So that's that 7. We can't have any of these, so that means that 7 does that. We just need any 2 of these, ideally making sure that we've got connections going between our other stuff. So I could do this, and that says it's wrong. Could do this, and it says it's right. Alright, so what's the difference? What's the difference? There's another rule that I haven't understood yet. So you still don't understand what's going on. So the general rule here, from what I'm gathering, and again, I chose the mode where we learn as we go, is that every number needs to have that number of black spaces next to it, and we get to color things in to make that work. So right now this 2 has these 2 black spaces next to it. I've colored in the other stuff around the 7 so that 7 of the 8 are filled. Oh, good lord, what does that mean? A 1 and a 1. What? I don't know what that means. Alright, so we have now absolutely encountered a rule that I have no basis for. Everything that we've seen before, I've had basis for from some other games. First off, kind of like the Minesweeper thing, having each cell have the number of whatever, buy it. Next up was making sure all of the black was connected and that we didn't have a 2x2. Those are two rules that I've learned from a completely separate puzzle game. And those three rules together have now gotten me this far. We got confused at this last step because we had two options and I couldn't understand why one of them worked and one didn't. And now we've got an absolutely new symbol. You've got two numbers in the same square. And I have no clue what that means. So what we're going to do, I'm going to assume this is correct. Then I'm going to start experimenting with the other squares. Just having one of them doesn't work. Okay, hang on. There are... we can be really, what's the word I'm looking for? Thorough. It's not just thorough, but there are 5 squares here that can either be on or off. So that is 32 possibilities if we just wanted to brute force this. I'm going to try brute forcing it because 32 is still manageable. I just have to make sure I remember everything. So we're gonna treat this like binary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 works. Okay, so what does that potentially mean? This 1 and 1. Oh, you know what I bet it means? Okay. I bet it means 2, but separated. Because we can now see that this square has 2 black squares, but those black squares aren't connected together at all. So that might be what this 1, 1 stands for. So actually assuming this was correct was absolutely the wrong way to go. And actually assuming this was correct would just completely violated that 2 from before anyway. Alright, so we need to get separated 2, which means this? Yes. Separated 3, and we can't use either of these spots, which means we have to use this, this, and this. Now we have to make sure everything is connected, so we do that. Okay, again. 3. We can't use this spot or that spot, because that would give us larger squares that are unfortunate. We can't actually even continue all the way around, because that would actually put 2 things in a grouping together, so we'll do that. Okay, now we're getting tricky here. Now we're getting tricky. So now we've got these 1, 3s, which means, so this square means there's going to be one group of 3, and then a separate group of 1. So here's our group of 3 representing the 3 there. So we need a separate group of 1 in one of these 3 things. So that's out of the question. Now, if there's a group of 1 here, that means this set of 5 needs to have 3 connected things to it. So that's guaranteed. Again, we know those. So this 1 and 3. Let's see. There are only 6 options. So I could do that. That should solve this 1 and 3, but now this black group is just completely separate from everyone. Oh, hang on. All right, hang on. Here's something I forgot. This 3 is already solved. So we need to do that. Which means that this black has to connect around this way. So we do that. Those are both of the 3s for these grouped things. Now to get the 1, we have to loop around. To get the 1, we loop around and come over. There we go, we got it. Oh, a question mark? Why are you throwing a question mark at me? Undo, redo coloring, fine. Why are you throwing a question mark at me? Well, it can't be that, so it's got to do that. So that is a 1. It's not a 1. So the question mark means... The question mark means it has a value at the current step, and it could have a separate value at a subsequent step. Okay, this one means we have to be separate, so we have to do that. Oh, good lord. Okay, so that's separate, we know. We need to have some sort of separation to solve this, and that's done. Wait, is it? Because now, how do I have a separation? Oh, I do have a separation for this one already, but we can go around, because this could be like a 1 and a 3. And so now it looks fine with the 1 and a 1. We need 3 separations here, which means we gotta do that. 4 separations, okay. Now we connect everything. Awesome. 3 separate things where one of the answers is 3. Well, that's that. Ooh, a question mark and a 4. That's going to be a 2 and a 4, at least for right now. That 3 is solved. We do that. That 2 is correct. We need a 1 and a 1, so we do that. There's a 2 right here, which means we need to have a 3 there. Keep things connected. Work all the way around. Oh, are we out of this level? I can speak level. I tried to mix level and layer of the dungeon. Layerful. Alright, main rule. All colored cells are connected. All colored cells cannot form 2 by 2. So yes, this is what I was talking about earlier. That was a total assumption on my part, based on how much I play Nurikabe World. Each colored cell increases the length of consecutive cells. Yep. Consecutive groups correspond to multiple clues in the clue cell. Commission and greater than 0. Yes. All right. No, hang on. There we go. Oh, it's just automatically doing it. All right, so hang on. We know that. So we have to get here. That 1 is now solved. We come up and around. That's also solved. There we go. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, okay. So with this 5, there are 6 squares to fill. Everything has to be consecutive, so we know that. The 2 has to be consecutive, so we now know that. And we solve there. 7s, well, that's easy. 2 7s next to each other forces you to do that. Alright, we can't have a 2 by 2, which means this 4 has to loop that way. So this 2 by 2 can't go there because of the square. Can't go there because then they hit 2. We're like that. And that actually, yes, forces that. So for this 3, it's got to be one of these 2 spots. Those are closed off. For this 3, it's got to be those 2 spots. We're good. Can't go there. That 3. Okay, hang on. Alright, this 4 can reach from here. Hang on, so it has to either be this 4 or this 4, which means we know that. And it's either somewhere in here, somewhere in here. We can't be both of these, because that would be wrong for the 1, so that's not there. We've got to do that. Can't be there because of the square. That's done. Okay. Can't be there, which means for 5 we do that. Oh, it's giving us... multiples at the same time. Alright, well again, 7's next to each other. Forces your hand. Any 7 with an opening forces that. Yeah. So getting past the 3 forces that. Oh, nope, we need that. 5, we know this. Can't go there. Ooh, okay, now we're getting trickier. No, we can't do any of those. We knew that. This 1 and the 1 means that's gone. Actually, all of those mean that. So we need 1 in here and 1 in here. The only way for 1 in here to work is if it's that one. So we now do that. I guess that. This is weird. So that 4 is solved. That's the 1. We need a 2. That 1 is solved. Again, all of those are solved. Okay, 1 and 2. Go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or any of the mirrors of those. This is so open-ended. Oh wait, no it's not, no it's not. This 1, 1 has to be that. That instantly solves a bunch of stuff. So there's the 2, we need a 1, does that, there's the 2, got it. The 1 and the 1s, we know that. We know that. Easy. Whoa, it's... Oh, what is this? Go find the lost clues. The answer lies within. I'll wait to do that, because that's gonna be a little bit more complicated. There's something else over here. Okay, that 5 is done. We know that. 2s do that. That set of 1s has to do that. Those are both solved, so that has to do that. Oh, okay, so I found a lost clue. Nice. I'll have to place them later, and that's not going to be any fun. But there's an extra rule here that we can snag, assuming we can figure out this room, which is, if that 3 is done, that 3 then means that. That 4 has to do that. That 3 has to do that. That's out of the way. This 4 has to do that. This 3 now has to do that, and the 2 has to do that. The only way to hit the 1 is in one of these spots. Alright, this 6. It requires these 5, we know that. Which now means we do that. Easy enough. The 7... If the 7's gap space is anywhere except here, we get a square at the bottom. So that's what we're forced with on the 7. This 4... Well, actually, that's pretty straightforward, which means the 5 is like that. Okay, the 2 can't be both of these, because it would make that a square. Can't be both of these for the same reason. Same reason. Gotta do that. Can't go there. Okay, I like this game. It's similar. It's like a cross between Minesweeper and Nurikabe World. I like it. This is... I'm gonna just like try to cram through as much of this as I can now. This is nice. This is nice. That's out of the way. That forces that. The 6 is now that. That 4 is done. That 3 is done. That 3 is done. Those corners are out. It's gotta be that. Oh, wait, no. Hang on. Oh, that 1 is done. The 1 is done. Okay. Because we can't have both of these. So we'll do that. I think I can make everything connect and solve both of these just by doing that. So that's got a 2, it's got a 1. It's all connected. We're good. We're good. That's a dead end now. So if we want to do a 4 here, can't include that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Both of those have to be there. What else can we do immediately? This 1 still needs something. Could be that. But if it's not that, then it has to be that. So it has to be one of these two. We can mark those off. Oh, hang on. These 3 1s. Okay, that's easy enough. Now the 2 2s, there are 2 options. It's either this or it's this. We can't tell which is which at the moment. At least I can't tell which is which at the moment. For this 2, we have to have that. Which means we're not having that. Because that's a single, you can't put a 2 there, and this one was, well, those 2 are those 2, which means that's guaranteed. So this 3, similarly, can't be there. It has to include that, which means for the squares, it's that. So this 3 now as well does that. So we can't go there. And we can't go there because of the square, so we've now solved the 1. It's out, that 3 is there. Okay. All of these are no longer usable because there's no way to connect the black at the moment. So the 1 has to be one of these 2. And it's not going to be this, because 5 already starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, yes, no. That's out. Okay. I need a drink here. Need a drink. Okay, so yeah, for this, okay, the 6 needs 2 empty squares next to each other somehow. Every 6 needs 2 empty squares next to each other somehow. Okay, actually, let's go to here. Because for this guy, 1 or both of the empty squares has to be on the bottom here. Because if both empty squares are too high up, we get a 2 by 2 or a 2 by 3 of black, and we don't want that. So that means those have to be black. That tells us something about this 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that can't do that. Which also now tells us something about this 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6. We're done. All right, now. That means we can't have both of these be black. So at least one of these needs to be off. Now for this 6 to work, if we force that, which means there's our other off, that's on, that's off, those are on. That's off, which now this 6 means this? Yes, that's off. Immediately does that. There we go. Those are off, that's on. Okay, so now we come back to this. Which now it's, oh, we know the answer now because we can't have these 2 be black because we get the square. So we do that. Oh, it's solved. Oh. What does this mean? I can't undo stuff, so that seems like... I don't know what that means. Because this 1 is already wrong. Oh, hang on, because what 3 is... Hang on. Oh, so it's a false 1. But the 7 is also false. I'm confused there. Alright, let's go back over here now. Now 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We know it has to include both of those. That's coming around. Also, both of these have to come around. If we want to be continuous. Okay. Now, the easiest way to be continuous with what we're looking at immediately is just doing that. Because there's our 3 now. Then we have to do that. Oh, I can't believe I got that one. Alright, so that 7 is done. That 7 is done. That's both of the 2s. We know that. Oh, that's rude. Alright, we got a 3, 3 there. That's like that. Okay. So this 3, 3 is interesting. I think that forces that. And the 2, 2 is now done. We're not continuous right now, so let's connect everything. Okay. Question mark. It has to be a single number, and because there's a gap there, we just have to go all the way around. Okay, so hang on. 2 separate branches means this. This also now has 2 separate branches. We can't go there because of the square, which means that's also off. We have to go around. Question marks on everything. So that's... We have to reach this, so we do that. We also have to reach this, but this one's already solved, so we do that. Oy vey. Alright, hang on, let's... This 3 is done. The 5 is like this. The 4 is like that. We need a 1. This 2 needs this. Okay. So this 3 has a 1 and a 1 next to it. Which means at most... which means we can't put the 3 over here. Fine. Can't bring black over here now because it's in a corner. We have to do that. No, not that. Yes, that. We come around. So either this is the 2 and the 1, or the 2 and the 1. For continuousness' sake, we have to do that. Oh, this is rough. 1, 1, 1. Gotta be that. Alright, now for this one to connect to anything, because we can't go back into here, that 3 has to do that. We hit this, you're done. We hit this, you're done. Alright. We cannot get up into here. So these 2, there needs to have at least that. In fact, the only way we can be continuous now is to do that. These 2 can't connect, because the largest number we have here is 3. So this doesn't connect this way. Well, that means this comes up and over. There's our 3 and our 1. Our 2 is done. We go up. This 2 has to do this. Alright, 3 and 3. We do straight braces around or opposite corners around. Now this is a 1 and a 1. That forces this. Forces our 3s to do that. Connects like that. We're finding more of those clues. We could leave this level. I'm not going to yet. So now I've got a 2 and a 4. That's at least a 3, so we do that. That 1 is done. Okay, so this has to connect back over here. That's done. Those are done. I think what we're doing is this? Yes. Still so much more to do. All right, 1 and 3 out of a 5. We know those. We know that. For this to connect to anything, we have to do that. So this is a 2 and a 4. That's our 4. That's our 2. Now the question is, how do we be continuous here? This has to come over here. This has to come up here. There we go. 8. I like seeing 8s. I like seeing 8s. 1 and 3, again, we see that what we saw earlier. For that 4, we know that 3 works. For continuity, we have to do that. The 2s do that. We can't go there, so we have to go there. 1, 2, 2. Okay, hang on. Okay, so there are a lot of ways we could do that. Oh no, I don't like seeing these colors. They confuse me. I don't like seeing the colors. Oh, okay, hang on. They're all colors. Wait, well, okay, so hang on. There's a 1 and a 2 here. There's just a 2 over here. I don't know what that means. Let's go work on stuff where we think we know how to solve it. Seven. Let's do the 1 and the 3 first. Now that 7 is done. We have to connect these somehow. Which I think means doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 off. We do that. Those 1s do that. That marks the 7 do that. Now to get this connected, we have to do this. That comes off. That does that. That needs to be connected. That happens there. Again, 1 and 3. We're used to seeing it by now. The 2 and the 2, again, also something we're used to seeing. This is getting hard. This is getting really hard. Especially when you don't know the rules. Oh, lordy. Alright, hang on. We know this. We know at least that. Which means we know that. That's done. That does that. So for these 3s... Wait, No, that we knew, we put that together. But those are like that. That does that. That has to go at least there. Which means for that to be out does that. 5. A string of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Easy enough. So this 2-2 thing. We can't put a block of 2 here, or here, or here. Which means this is valid, this is valid, this is valid. We can't do both of these, because then we would run into something. So that has to be one of the 2s. Now for this 5 to work, we do that. 2 is done there. We need to get the 1 over. That's done. We know those because 5 is done, which means we do that. Alright, let's try to get back and have everything connected again. We still need a 1 over here, which means just that, I assume. Now for that 4, it needs to do that, which means that 1 and 2 are done, which means in order to get the black out, we need to do that. Oh, that's weird. So this 2-2 is easy. Well, it's not easy because I don't have it done, but so one of these is a 1, one of these is a 2, which means those are off. Same thing over here. So 1 and 1 can be any groupings of those. Okay, this 4 has to do at least that. We need something there. I can't put a 3 here. We have to do something here. And the reason I say you can't put a 3 here, because that would force a 2 next to this 1-1. Alright, let's look at down here. So we now have a 2-2 with a 5 and a 1. Well, that has to do that for sure. Which means we're doing that, 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 that makes everything connected. They're playing nice, which is always good. That's gonna need connection somehow. This is gonna need connection somehow. This is gonna need connection somehow. With that right there, we're now forced to bring this around like that. With the 2-2 thing, we know that. Not that helps, but that forces us to do this. Now, let's see. That does this, which forces that. Oh, this is getting weird. Okay, so the black to be continuous, we have to do this. Okay, so we still need a 1-1 and a 1-2. Okay, that forces that. Which means we're now done here, done there. That needs to be connected. This needs to be connected. Whoa! Okay. We're gonna keep working over here. What are you? Alright, we've got this weird yarn pattern thing going on now. Now, for the black to be continuous, we have to do that. Are these... What is the rule for solving these? 2, 3. There are 4 groupings. 4 squares, 5 squares, 5 squares, 6 squares. Oh, whoa, hang on. Okay, that wasn't what we wanted. If I try this again. Alright, so that one's solved, these guys are not. I have no clue what's going on over there. Absolutely no clue. This should be easier to solve. I say easier. That doesn't mean it will be easy. So, if this group of 3 is not that 3, then we have to do this, and it's a 3 and a 3. Or it could be this 3 and something smaller than 3. Either way, we know that. Okay, so this one, we can't have stuff over here and over here. Which is fine, because 4 will never reach both spots. But we do know 4 is going to reach there. This 4 is easier, we know that. And similarly, this 4, we know that. Alright, so we've got a 1 and a 1 1, 1, 2. Which means all 6 of these are accounted for somehow. So yeah, we could do this. We could do that. We could do that. We won't know for a while, but this 1 and 3, we need this to happen. Now this question mark says that everything around it has to be connected. So we have to do at least that. We know this for sure. We know that. Okay. That 2 has to be there, so that 4 is now no longer like that. That 1 is solved. Okay, and that 2 also can't do that. Now this 1 question mark forces us to do this. For the black to be continuous, it forces us to do the uh-oh. I've broken a rule. Because now this black can't get anywhere. That works, though. Why did I... Oh, because we need a 1 and a 2 here. Hang on, let's see if we can... We could do that. That is still technically legal. We can't have both of these. Oh, we can't fill these squares, so we know that. Oh, okay. Okay. 7, we don't know. Okay, these 3-3 combos. Easy. That makes that 7 easy. Excuse me. Now this is a question mark 3-3, which with the spacing means it needs to be a 1-1-3. And we know that. Wait, no, that's not guaranteed. 3 can be here, the 3 can be here, the 3 can be here. Now this 3 has to include that, which means that's now cut off. That's not the 1, it's a question mark. So at some point there'll be a gap and we put a 1 in. This 7 has to connect over here somehow. We don't know exactly how just yet. So, alright, what kind of 3-3-3s are we looking at over here? Well, it can't be vertical bars 3s, because then that would have at least a 2 and a 2 on this. So we can do horizontal bars 3s. Unfortunately, we can't do horizontal bars 3s because that cuts off... Wait, no. Yeah, if we do horizontal bars... So we can't do vertical bars 3s, we know that. We can't do horizontal bars 3s because then there's no way for this one other thing to actually connect going around. We can't do northwest, southeast for the same reason we can't do the vertical bars. So we have to do northeast, southwest. Done. Okay, that looks good. Now, okay, we have to bring this up here. The missing square around the 7 still can be anywhere. Can be anywhere. Now we do need to somehow be connecting this downward. So I already know we can't do that because then we block everything off. So that's actually gone. That forces us to do this. That doesn't help us a ton. Doesn't help us a ton. Because we can now either do this, or come around like this. If we do this, then that means we force the 7 gap to be this middle spot. And forcing the gap to be there seems a little weird. Still possible. Let's see what happens. That leaves us to do this. Okay, and now we're stuck. We can't complete this 3-3. Right, because the only way to do it would be northwest, southeast, and that means the... No, wait, no, we can do that. We do this. Oh, yeah, now we can't, because this can't connect back up. So that's not like that. Oh, we do know that though. Again, we're going back to the 1-1-3 because this extended, that's forced to be our 3. Those are our 1-1s. That 7 is solved. This has to connect, it has to do that. Okay. So now if we want to connect... Okay, well now we're stuck over here. Because... No, we're not stuck. There we go. Alright, so to get over to these blocks, we need to come through here at the very least. And since we're not doing... So with the 3-3s, everything is mirrored, so we know that's got to be there. We have to connect everything in a way that makes sense with this. Got it, got it, got it. Green square? Hello, what is this? We've got grass. Oh, it's a what is this, a mini puzzle? Or, no, unlock. We've unlocked a patch of grass. That will be saved somewhere now. So... Everything's so confusing. I don't like dealing with these color things because I just don't understand them yet. So the 2-4, well, it's got to be that. 1-4, I just need to pick one of these two and put it in. Oh, wait. I don't need to pick because that question mark did it for us. Okay, 1-4. Either this is the 4, extends up here. That's off, and one of those are the ones. Or this is the 1, and we do all 3 of these, which means that's guaranteed no matter what. That 2 is done. Which means for the black to make it through, the black does not need to make it through here. It can come out here, it can come out here. So we don't need to rush into that. Here's one of our 1-3s again. 3-3, again, we know is an edge something. It's not pure vertical bars, because that would make this thing impossible. So we know those have to be there. Because that can be a 2-2, or a 1-3, or a 1-2. We'll come to that when we get there. So this 2-2, though, we know what that does. That 1-1 does this. That has to come out here. That has to come out there. We know that. We know that. This still has to come through here. Okay, and actually now I know, looking at this, we can't do the horizontal bars on the 3 because that completely cuts this black off from everything else. So no horizontal bars. Forces that. So now we know this is cannot reach. This is the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that. This has to connect, so we'll do that. There's our 4. There's our 1s. Okay. It looks like we're done as we can be until we go to that. So let's go back down this way. Ugh, alright. That's guaranteed. We gotta do that. Alright, we still need black to come into this area, so that means we have to fill at least that much. For 2 separate sections of black, we have to do this, which means this has to come all the way around. This also needs to connect somehow. We have to have a gap, so that's that. 1 question mark, easy. Easy. Okay, this is not as easy. So the 1 we know is that. And question mark 3, easy. Oh, this again! What are these yarn walls supposed to be? So this is what frustrates me. They are all not just different shapes, but all different sizes as well. All right, hang on. I'm gonna get myself mad if I keep thinking about that too much. So, so this is either a 1-1-2 or a 1-2-2. Because we have to have at least 2 gaps. Wait, no, so this. Yeah. 1-1-2 or 1-2-2. So if it was a 1, well, actually, so let's try to determine what's going on. If this is a 1-2-2 and both of these are black, we fail. Which means at least one of these squares needs to be an X. If we do it this way, we can't hit this box at all. So that means it would force us to do that, and that's also wrong. Which means we know this one has to be off. Which means this is on. We don't know the status of this box right now. Could be on, could be off. This can't be a 1-3, because we couldn't reach the 1 that way. So it's got to be a 1-2, which means that. What do we have wrong here? Oh, I see what's wrong, because that 3, oh, okay. Hang on. That 3 is already solved. I mean, this... We can't make this a 4, because then 4-3 can't work, so that has to be off. Which means we have to have that on. Okay. And again, we can't do this, because then it'll be connected, so now we do that. But that's still wrong, because... Okay. 1-1-2. We got it. So there's a 1-1-2. And again, we can't make this a 3-1, so we connect like that. Ugh, okay. We know that's already... Can't work with it, so this has to come out this way. Means the 4 is that. And yeah, we can't go there because the 1 whatever is already solved. So we have to do at least this. So this has to be a 3-1-1. It has to. This needs 2 gaps in it. No, it needs 3 gaps. We've got 2 implemented already, so there has to be at least a gap in one of these 2 spots. Not that that really helps us. Okay, so we need 3 surrounding this. Which means the 3 has to be up here. The only way for this black and this black to come around is like that. There's our 3. That 3 is also now already solved. That 3 is solved. For the black to be connected, we have to do this. Do that. There's our 1. It's a 5, supposedly, here. Alright, we have to do at least that. 5 means those 4 are correct. All those question marks. Well, okay, we've already got our gaps. So it means we need that. Okay, that tells us this. So these could be correct. We don't know if we need this square or not. Could be correct. We don't know if we need the adjacent squares. However, this one tells us we need that. And this is a 1, 1, 1. So that's off. We get 1 there, 1 there. Which means we now need to do at least this to get this around. I want to finish this level, but those other colored whatevers make it really hard. Alright, so question mark 3 requires that. The 2, 2 here, again, we can't have 2's being anywhere around overlapping here. So we need one of the 2's over here and one of the 2's over here. Done. Question mark 2. Well, the only way we can do that is like that. Which means this has to come around. This is a question mark 2, which means it's a 1, 2. The 1 is there. This could go on, but we need at least one of those to be a 2. This has to come around. Question mark 2. So there's 2. This is a 2, 1, 1 again. So we know that. We know that. Excuse me. Can't go there. Just marking things off. Okay, here's something we can say. Because this only has 2 by it, we can't put something here because that would give us 3 connections. Now, in order for this to have 2 connections, we know we have to do that. So that has to be... So if it's question mark 3, we now have to do that. This is a question mark 3, we have to do that. Okay. Now we're built up. Now, for this to have only 2 numbers, that has to be connected. There we go. Well, alright, one more mystery number to unlock. So we've got 2 things of yarn here, 3 things of colors there, and then this supposedly deterministic one. Okay. Okay, that's guaranteed. Alright, interesting. That's guaranteed there. For that to have a gap, we need to do that. Okay, we're wrong. This needs 2 numbers, again. So it has to be 5 and 1. This needs to somehow go for 2. Wait, this? Yes, okay. I love seeing the 4 question marks. That's nicely deterministic. Wait, no. There we go. Alright, so those are our 2 for this one, so we can't have anything super more extended. This is a 3-1-1. We have to come around and around. That's a 1-1-1. That's that. Other way around, Austin. So this is getting more interesting already. So those things of 3s, they can be 1-1-1, 1-1-2, or 1-2-2. And actually putting them all together, I don't know. Because yeah, so for this thing, it can be a 3-3, it can be a 2-4, it can be a 5-1, and it can be any of those where you start shrinking the numbers, but I guess you need at least a 3. So it could be 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, 4-1, 4-2, or 5-1. I feel like I should be smarter about diagonal uses. That's one big thing I learned from Nurikabe World. But beyond that, this is tough. Because, like, if I just be, like, silly here. And now I can't because that 3 is impossible. Now, what really prompted that was doing this. Because now in order to get this 3 over, we do that. You have to gap that. Now both of these have to come through. So, yeah, can't do that. So there has to be at least one gap among these 3 things, which doesn't tell us much. But what we have learned is whatever black squares come up in here, we don't want to force ourselves that we're shooting out through both of these areas. So this 3 is actually interesting. Based on how it connects. That's wrong, Austin. Let's do something like that. No. Maybe. No. Something is still wrong. Oh, because that's now... Okay. How do I clear out the room here? Clear current board colored cells. So R and C. Let's go back. We know that. We know that. We know that. Okay. What if we do this? We're forced to do that. If we want everyone to come through, okay, we're still good at the moment. Ah, there we go. And now we've got all of our hidden stuff over there. We don't know where they belong yet. So 6, easy enough. 4 square, easy enough. That single thing has to be connected. This has to be singly connected, so I'm assuming not there, which makes that 3 square easy. Similarly now, we do this 3 square. That is still good for everyone, right? Yes, yes it is. That we know like that. That has to come out, that has to come out, that has to come out. Everybody coming out. So this 3 square, it's either a 113 or a 112. Has to have at least 2 1s in it. That's what I'm getting at. And then the other side can do whatever it wants. Oh, hang on. We've got another corner here, which is doing things. It's doing things. All right, this can't use any of those now, which means we're coming up this way. That has to come out that way. Okay, so what do we know next? Okay, what we do know is this has to come out this way. And then there's going to be some connection going through here. It's either this, actually no it's not, can't be that. Because we can't have both of these. So... And it can't be 111 either. So we've got a 112. We've got some sort of opposite thing going on, and the only way for this to work with an opposite thing is doing that. Okay. Okay. Getting there. So for this thing to be correct, there's only 2 sections of black by, which means those are both completely wrong. That has to be in. This black needs to come down and come out. We know it does that. We know it does that. We know it does that. So the only thing left here is to connect this. Oh, and this. Okay, so we have to come through and do that. 0022 question mark. Okay, so nothing in either of these, that's fine. For these 2s, to both each have 2 things in them and connect to the old stuff. No. There's a question mark here. Hang on. If we try to solve this just as the original whatever, we can't. And we already know it's wrong because these zeros wouldn't have stuff by them. No, it says 8 on it. Hang on a minute. We need to figure out what some of these other numbers mean. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. And then this thing. Alright, so what are we doing? Let's process of elimination some stuff. 7 is a very strong placement. Can't go here. We don't have enough around it to do that. I simply can't go in either of these 2 spots. Could go here, could go here, could go here. Can't go there. Now if we put it here, we get a 2-2. And in fact, any of these other spots, this 7 almost has to be paired with a 2-2. It could be paired with something more like a 2-3 or a 2-4. But beyond that, we don't know. Okay, now actually, hang on a minute. For the black to even get into the area, we have to do that. Which tells us this is either the 4-1 or a 4-2. This has to be a 1-3 or a 1-4. If this is 1-3, this has to be nothing but a 2, and we don't have nothing but a 2. So this has to be a 1-4. A 1-4 and a 1-2. Okay, well, it's not letting us mark that specifically. I guess this is where it comes into, I think they mentioned earlier about having pencil and paper stuff. So this would be a good time for me to actually pull out a notebook and maybe start noting that. One moment here. Okay, let's see. Notebook. Let's get the pencil and paper out. Okay, so I'm going to draw my own version of this grid and mark down what I know. Or what I feel like I know. This is a, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. It's a 7x7 at the moment. Oh, I am awful at drawing. Good lord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We now know we've got a 1-2. Oh, I should have made that a lot bigger. I am writing so tiny right now. And a 1-4. 1-2, 1-4, 2-4, 7, 2-3, 1-4, and the last few there are a 1-1, a 2-2, a quad question mark, but that's just a 1-1-1-1, and then a 1-1. Let me mark down where our grid cells are. I'm sorry there's like no activity on the stream here where I'm actually writing things down on a little notepad. Once this is all set up, I will make things better. Alright, so as we've said earlier, this one right here has to be a 4 something. We are left with with the 2 that we've already placed in these 2 boxes, this is either a 1-4 or a 2-4. Okay. So whether it's a 1-4 or a 2-4, we know that. We know that. So for this black to continue, we have to do this. Now we've already marked that off technically. So let's... Which means this is our other 4 something. And there's no other 4 options. That means this 3 has to do that, and we come around. So here's one of our 4s. Here's another of our 4s. Let me actually note that on my thing here. So those are both claimed. We need something with a 3 to go here. That has to be a 2-3. So 2-3 goes there. Which means that. So everything with a 4 and everything with a 3 is theoretically placed. We just don't know which 4 and which 4 partners are in these 2. But this is our 2-3. And we had a 1-4 and a 1-2. So that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. Those 2 are effectively gone. So, we still have to place the 7 and everything across the bottom row. Let's try to see if we can do process of elimination. So this 4 thing can't go here. This 4 thing also can't go here because then we couldn't continue the black round. And it can't go here either. So this set of 4 has to go in one of these 2 spots. If it goes here, there's nowhere we can put the 7, which means I think this has to be like that. Which means this is a 2-4. So the 2-4 is up here. No, this is the 2-4. Oh, wait, no, it can be the 1-4. No, it's definitely... Oh, see, nope, that's wrong. I've now very wrong. No, I said the 1... Oh, I forgot. The quad 1 can't go here. It has to go here. No, that's still wrong. Hang on, Wait, so that means, does it go here? That seems impossible. Because where does our 7 go? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's 10, yeah. Alright, hang on. If we put this here, we can't put the 7 here or here or... Sure. If we put the 1, 1, 1 here, then those are just completely cut off. And we can't put the 1, 1, 1 here, because then we'd close all of that off. And we would have to like put the 7 there, and that's a yeah, none of that works. Which means something from earlier is just wrong as well. Why did I say no to this? Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack. If we let that happen, That doesn't work because this can't come around. But maybe if we do this. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall now. Total experimentation at this point. So there is no 1-3, which is why I had to say this is a 1-4. We know that. So those are definites. Okay, and then yeah, we can't do this because now everything's blocked off again. Okay, this 1-1-1 is being way more complicated than it should be. Again, so we can't have a 1-3, so we have to have a 1-4. That's guaranteed. Let's leave it at that. Heck, let's do this. There's our 7 and our 2-3. If the 2-3 is already used up, there's no other 3s here. We have to put a 4 in here somewhere. Let's put the quad 1 and the double 1 over here. Unfortunately, that means we're doing that. And that means this is a 3, which we don't want to see. Because we've already used 3 over here. But that was just randomly placing our 1-1. Now we can't, or the quad 1. We can't put the quad 1 here, because then that leaves that. If we put the quad 1 here, this has to come out and around somehow. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. If we put the quad 1 here, and we don't necessarily know what that is, but so it's either a 1-1 or a 2-2, or if that's a 2-2, there's our quad 1, which we can't because that black is already, it's gone now. Ugh, alright, hang on. What happened to the simple fun numbers? The game got more complicated. Which, this isn't even the harder part. I don't know if you saw some of the other things, but we now have colored numbers, and we also have just grassy boxes. And what was the other problem child that we came across? Oh, we have red boxes as well, with an 8 by it, which I presume means I maybe have to place 8 numbers, but like that, clearly not. Yeah, I don't know. We're at the point where trying to figure out the rules as you go is proving to be very hard. This one at least makes sense because it seems pretty deterministic. You just actually have to place the clues yourself. And I'm struggling at that section. Let's try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. 5, 6, 7. Let's get a bigger square this time so I can see what I'm doing. I'm writing things down on with pen and paper right now because the game did somewhat suggest that at the early stages. Alright, so we've got an island right there that we need to put numbers in. We've got an island right here that we need to put numbers in. This island, this island, this island. Now, as we've already said, we know that's black, that's black. And from our reasoning from before, since there are no 1-3s, there's only 1-4s, we know that's black. And because there are no 1-5s, we know that that's off. Which means this one is a 1-2. It's our only 1-2. This is one of our two 1-4s. This box is a 4 of some sort. We don't know if it's a 1-4 or a 2-4. But it's a 4 of some sort. Now, what else had I been able to reason out earlier? Because I had gotten around here, because I said there's nothing can work right there for whatever reason. Why did I say nothing works right there? Because we can't have something work right there if we say this is 2-2 and this is our 7. If that's... I'm just fully experimenting here. Okay, there's the problem that we see now, because this now has way too much around it. But that's not 2-2. That looks like 3-3 to me. Where were you saying? If I do this... Ah, you're right. That is a 3-3. Yep. That is a good point. Okay. So yeah, the two hardest things to place here are the 7 and the quad 1s. Actually, hang on. Yeah, we don't want to be a... Now that is a 2-3, which is something that works. Oh, you played the demo? Okay, that's fun. Yeah, I was glad to grab this in Steam Next Fest, because I do love my puzzle games. So this technically works. We've placed the 7 and the 2-3. But again, we run into issues of where are we placing the 1-1, the quad 1s. Because that doesn't... Oh, actually, you know what? Hang on. We now can't place the quad 1s over here, because that blocks that off. We can't place the quad 1 here, because that blocks this off. Can't place the quad 1 here, because it's on the edge of the board. Which... Alright, let's assume the quad 1 goes there. What next? This has to happen. Which... We do this. So here's our 7, here's a 4-2, here's a quad 1, here's a 1-1. There's a 4-1, there's a 2-2. But if I do this now, I need to use other 4s, and I think I've maxed out on those 4s. I need to put a 1-1-1 somewhere, and I haven't even considered that yet. Oh, I keep doing that. Because, yeah, so the quad 1... Now, we could... No, we can't. No, we can't. Alright. So we've now reduced this quad 1. It either has to be here, which is impossible for that, or here, which we can work with. But now we've got a 3 right here, and we can't make that a 2. Which means that also seems to be impossible, which means we've now eliminated every single square. So there's something I'm overthinking here, or incorrectly placing. Was it this, maybe? No, because it has to be a 4. Because we can't make that our 2, 3. And we can't have that be a 5. We know that. We know that. Why? So yeah, can't go there. To have quad 1s in the lower section. Yeah, like this. Something like that. So this is another one of our 4s now. We know 1 is there, 1 is there, and 1 is there. Which means that is all of our 4s. And that's a 4-1. So this has to be either a 4-2 or a 4-1. This is a 4-2 or a 4-1. I guess if we make the 7 there... No, because see, that's 6, that's 7. And now these are... Oh, that's 4-1, that's 4-2. Okay, that works. Okay, let me write this part down. So we are now here. We got 1-4 this spot. This is either a 2-2 or a 2-3. Could be either. Could be either. The fact that this is undetermined feels weird to me. But let's stick with what we've got at the moment. 7. That's our 2-4. There's quad 1 and there's a double 1. So out of what we've placed now, we still need to do a 2-2. We still need to do a 2-3. And the triple 1. Okay, so the triple 1 might be... So the triple 1 has to be at one of these 2 spots. If we make the triple 1 here... Come around... Nope, can't do that. That would force the triple 1 to be here. Maybe like that. But now that's a 2-3 that we can't connect, and we can't connect that way either. So here's the triple 1. There are a lot of ways you could, in theory, pull it off. Just because it is flexible. We know we can think that. So yeah. 2-2, 2-3, and triple 1. Although this really is bothering. Because the fact that we have extra space up here makes me think somewhere there should have been a gap. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I think I see it. Because now here's our 2-3. This is a 2-4. There's a 1-4. That actually might work. So if we put the 2-4 up here, 1-4 here, this is now our 2-3. So that means we need to place a 2-2, a triple 1, and a 7. Yeah, the 7 definitely. I think that's the only answer there. Which means this is the triple 1, and the 2-2 does that. And now we get another silly colored thing. And I have yet to figure out what the colors mean. We only had one very quick section of a whatever here, where we had 7 and a 1. The 7 still makes sense. The 1, I don't understand how that 1 is correct. Unless it's just a ghost 1, and it wasn't supposed to mean anything in the first place. So, actually, if we pretend this 1... If we pretend this 8 is real, we get this. This one doesn't mean anything. So we need to get the black in. So whatever number is here, so actually none of these numbers would mean anything, which then why are they like that? Because there's so much space here that's undetermined. Actually, wait a minute. If this one doesn't mean anything, we do that. We know we have to do that, so that also doesn't mean anything. 3, hang on, if this is 3, 4, so 3, 4, maybe? But then why would that be 1? Mystery number at the top left must be filled. Yeah, otherwise it's disconnected. What that means otherwise, I don't know. Because this is what, like, if I knew what this hint was telling me, it would make a lot more sense. Let me go back to other sections with the numbers, because I think when I had done this, it had been like a 1 bracket 2. And I have no clue how. I'm sure the 1 referred to one of these and the 2 referred to the other. But I don't know. Well, let's see. And then this is just a 2. Yeah. Learning the rules. So there are a couple of staircases that are available to me all right now. Because then there's also this weird thing and that weird thing, which has 8 by it, and that has a 3. So wait, manual. Okay, that's that. So yeah, we're going to change levels, I think, a little bit. So that takes me back down. Yep, there's a 1-1 there, which is this where I came from earlier? Yes, it is. So let's go up over here, see if we can learn something. Oh, 1, 2. The nice thing about this is there's only 8 possibilities. Alright, so whatever. Alright, so what do these numbers mean that makes this the correct one? Does this say 1 means 2? That would be weird. Now, it can't be 1 means 2 here. And there's no way to make something with actual disconnects. Hang on. So what we've seen last time, so what this would suggest is a 1 space 1. But we've now converted that space into a dark 1, which kind of is what happened last time. We had what should have been just 1, but one of the dark spaces got converted. So wait a minute. Oh. So the other way we could interpret this is this one, instead of having 1 that was black, had 1 that was white. These 1-1s, instead of having black with a space for another black, now has white with a space for another white. Or, wait a second, now this 0, there's 0 whites. So this 1, 2 must be telling us the number of white spaces separated by blacks instead of black spaces separated by whites. Alright, so right now what we're expecting is to have 2 white spaces separated by blacks, and that is not what we get. Oh, well, 0 still has to do that, so we know that. Oh, and if we have 2 white spaces separated by black, we do that. Okay. That's what the 1, 2 is. That's weird, but okay, I think we've solved it. So we need 3 white spaces separated by blacks. We come around. All other rules still apply. If we do that, we're wrong because we've got a multiple thing of blacks showing. Same thing over there. All right. We've learned that now. Let's go back and see. Now that's with a dash. 1-2 means that. 1-1 with a bracket of 2, that does not help. And yeah, so that line with the colors, we don't really know. But we might get there. So we're here. So we need 5 whites separated by hang on. It's either this with 1 more, which we can't do that now because we'll have 1 black that's isolated. So if we do this, yeah. And we're still in our second version of this. Okay. So this 5 needs 5 whites. So we need to just have a group of 3 black squares. It can't be this, can't be this, can't be this. So there's absolutely no way for that to be black. So we need 4 white spaces that are connected. Wait, what? So this 4 makes no sense to me whatsoever because you don't even have 4 connected spots around it. Unless this counts as a white space, we can have 4 of these as white or 4 of these as white. Which, if we have these 4 as white, then that, like that, would make some sense. Then the 1, 1, 1 does this. But unfortunately now the 1, 2 is impossible. Oh, no, because there's 1, 2. Okay, that does work. But now this black is not connected, which is a problem. Oh, wait, so the 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, there we... Hang on, I need to reverse what I was doing there. So the other... So that's white, those are white, that's got to be white as well. So now for 1, 3, 1 and 3, we're already done. 1, 2, 3 does this. 1, 2, okay. Got to connect the blacks, and there's our 5s connected. Ugh, okay. So the other number squares count as white squares for the purposes of this, which I guess makes sense because they did count as white squares last time. It was just we weren't placing them. Okay. So 1, 3 tells us that's like that, and we have to have either this or that as black, but not both. 4, well, we already know 3 is correct, so it's one of those two again, as we saw, and we say that. So for this 3, it's these 3. We do that. So that's this one, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're okay. Now for this 1, 3 here, those are both white, so one of these has to be white. And then one of these has to be white. So we've got 2 blacks to place. All right, can we go around first? Can we go all the way around? We can. Okay. This is just oddly so much harder than... so this is a 1, 2. We've got our 2 there. Okay, so this is the 1, 3. 1, 4. Well, those 4 are correct, so we have to do that. That 2 is already solved. So this 1, 4 is now solved. This 1, 2 has to do that. Black has to continue outward. 2, 4. Well, there's a 2. There's a 4. That black has to continue out here. To complete a 2, 3, we've got 1 here and 2 here. 2, 3. Can't go there. One moment. Alright, hang on. So I just had a quick moment there. Working with chat. Okay, so 3, 3. Well, if those are white, then those are white. And if those, okay, gotta do that. 4 tells us those 4. Yeah, okay, that all checks out. So 1, 2 checks out. There's our 3. We have for one of those. Wait, 1, 4. 1, 4, done. This is just so much harder than the previous version. You're, I guess, thinking backwards, but bleh. Okay. We're close though. You're done, right? Yes. Oh, but you were done on a previous step. So you won 3. Well, there's a 2. That means the 1 has to go over here. And all right. What else? The 2, 1, 1. 1 is there. 1 is there. We do that. So for this 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. So either 1, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 1. Now this black has to connect, so we have to do that. So for now, 1, 3. Oh, look at this whole area. All right. Okay, we are getting close to time here. Let me see if I can do this smaller section right here in the next 5 minutes. So 1, 2. Okay, hang on, let's see. These, we already had solved these, so we can do that. Give us a little bit of help. Alright, so 1, 1, 1 has to be that. That 1 is now solved. 1, 1, 3, well, there's a 1. We have to do that. And then one of these 2 is also a gap space, the other is black. Now 1, 2. If this is our 1, we have to put the 2 there. This could be the 2, in which case the 1 could be here or here, so we don't have any real options there. But, okay, here we go. The black can't continue through this way, so we have to do that, which now forces that to happen. And that means this 4 means we have to do that. Thus, this black to continue through has to do that. Those are our 4. That comes out that way. Okay, 1 and 4. 1, space, 1, 2, 3. So it would be, if we put the 1 here, guaranteed to put blanks here. If we put the 1 here, fully set. Similarly, I think, put the 1 here, we're guaranteed there. So the only guaranteed spot at the moment is this. There we go. All right, we got that. We did that quickly enough. Let's try the others. So 5, well, that's set. We know that. 6, we've already got 3 accounted for. 2 has to be there. 1, 1, 1 has to do that. So we have to put 2 blacks somewhere and there consecutively. We don't know at the moment. 1, 3. We know that. Now we can't put a black there because it can't connect to anything. So we know that. It's huge. So there's 4. Those have to be there. 2, 2 has to be there. 1, 1 has to be there. 1, 2, 1 has to go there. 2 might go there. Black can't go there, so we have to do that. Alright, so for the 1 here, it can't go there because then we cut off that black. So that has to be black. 1, 3, again, we do this. This black has to come out somehow. That black has to come out somehow. There's our 1. This is a 1 and a 2. No, I'm thinking of blacks. For whites, the 2 can be anywhere around here. If it was blacks, that would have tipped us off really easily, but it's not. We can't put the black here, because it would be cut off. So that's all determined now. Now, this 1, 4 is interesting. As we had said earlier, 1, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, space, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, that's guaranteed. Wait, no. That's not black, that's white. Okay. Okay, this 4, we should be able to do something with it. We know that. We can't get the whites to go all the way down to here from there. Because if we cut that off, we force a 2x2 black. So that has to be black, which means that has to be white. Which means this has to come out this way. That's got to be white. And we know that's white because of the square rule. Determined. Awesome. Oh, okay, so. The question right now is what can and can't we do with the black squares? If we put a black square here, we do this, and then the black has to come out in one of the 2 directions, and that would force that to be white. There's nothing wrong with that at the moment. Hang on, so actually that tells us something. We can't do this to make the 6, because then this black comes out of the way. Can we do this? Technically, yes. So this is the ones that is just not allowed. But we can do this. I think. We can do that. Alright, so yeah, we can't determine anything there. Okay, hang on. We can't make both of these black. So one of these has to be white, but not both of them. So either our 2 goes here, or it goes here. And in fact, it can't go here, because if we do that, our black comes into a problem. So that's where our 2 is. We come around that way. That forces that, which now means the 1 and the 2 there does that. And now we've lost this going out. So something else is wrong. Or did I make a mistake doing this? No. I made a mistake earlier. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. That, I think, is where we're going to end for tonight. I mean, we know that's obvious. We know that's obvious. We know that. What are the other things that we knew easy? We know that. 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 Okay. Yeah, so there's nothing that actually... Maybe this was the wrong assumption. Because I had done this earlier. Maybe not. But we'll leave it there. As I said, calling it for tonight. Oh, it's so tempting to keep borrowing, though. So yeah, we know that. Anyway. So many things we don't know. Save and quit. Okay, so I'm not sure if that was great stream content, but I think I found another puzzle game that I love. So this is something I will definitely be spending time on. Again, I don't know how good this content was on stream. I will do other games later, on the next Thinky Thursday. But this was fun. Frustrating at times, but fun. Because I love my number games. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you're watching the YouTube VOD right now, here's the time to do all the good YouTube stuff. If you like the video, ring the bell, and subscribe if you want to see more like this. I love puzzle stuff. I don't know how much YouTube listening to me babble logic. But also down in the description is a link to my Ko-fi if you want to help me, if you want to support me in finding fun games like this. It is always appreciated. And with that, I will see y'all later. Bye.